Hello. Who am I? Well, I'm your program previewer, Thomas Frank. I'm here to tell you about some of the shows we have in store for you right where you're listening now. If it's music you like, we have lots of it, from opera to popular. Do you like whodunits? We have some of the most famous killadillas and thriller-chillers. News, we have plenty, straight from the tickers. So how about making a couple of notes on the programs you plan to hear? Or better still, how about just leaving that old dial set exactly where it is now? Okay? Thanks a lot. We are at the New York entrance to the Lincoln Tunnel. You can probably hear cars going by as we speak. But in a few moments, all traffic will stop momentarily as the Honorable Gormley Lester dedicates the New York-New Jersey Friendship Gateway. Mr. Gormley will be introduced by Mrs. Thomasina Frank of the Sister State Sorority, and these proceedings will be preceded by a short concert by the New York and New Jersey Joint Journeymen's Bands. From the trolley stop, Greater New York's newest dance center, we present the music of Tommaso del Franco and his Romping Rumbans. Yes, the castanet king himself, with the sliding strings and the calorific clarinet of Fish Cake Frothingham. And as Tommaso waves the boys out of their theme, we hear Begin the Begin. We invite you to hear our Midnight Symphony concert, conducted by Mikhail Inverness, who directs the orchestra in music by Stamitz, Beethoven, Meyerbeer, Frank, Kabalevsky, and Pizzetti. Our soloist will be the young pianist Thelda Thomas, who will play the Ultramarine Concerto by Janek Zibulka. Our intermission speaker will be the well-known musicologist and connoisseur of musical apocrypha, Knut van Hjolstrom. The Blue Danube Waltz was the theme song of the gaslit gay 90s, of the days of horse and buggy. The Blue Danube lived on through the evolutionary stages of the horseless carriage, through the days when goggles and dusters were the garb of pioneer motorists, and saw them outmoded long ago by the introduction of automobiles with closed bodies. In rapid succession came those scores of other innovations that have made automobiles the indispensable tools for living that we know them to be today. Among them, the many advancements pioneered and developed by Chrysler Corporation. Our new and even better cars of tomorrow will bring for your enjoyment more of these good things. And as music mirrors the mood and tempo of its era, so Chrysler will reflect the progress of mankind. Here's the latest news from the Associated Press in Washington. Government analysts who had forecast a recession did some cheerful hedging today as the Census Bureau reported that civilian employment rose to an all-time high of 58,330,000 in May. This development, officials said, along with reports that retail sales are holding up better than generally expected, has considerably brightened the overall economic picture. Employment had dropped in April for the first time since the post-war boom got underway, and many had regarded that as signaling the start of a downgrade. Some officials greeted the upward rebound in May as evidence that the pronouncements of a recession were, to say the least, premature. Secretary of the Navy Forrestal told Congress today that one specific saving likely under a plan to unify the armed services is abolition of the Army's coast artillery. Forrestal testified before the House Expenditures Committee on a bill to put 3 separate departments of Air, Navy, and Army under a single cabinet officer of national defense. A hearty welcome was given to President Truman when he arrived in Ottawa this afternoon on his 3-day goodwill visit to Canada. And by a teller's tally of 119 to 92, the House rejected today a new attempt to kill a measure authorizing the administration to operate a foreign information and educational exchange program. The action came on a motion by Representative Noah Mason, a Republican from Illinois, to strike out the measure's enacting clause, a procedure which, if successful, would have automatically meant the bill's defeat. Earlier, Secretary of State Marshall told senators it is essential to the conduct of our foreign relations that the State Department have funds and freedom to make foreign broadcasts and conduct a worldwide information program. The new Hungarian premier says 80% of the country's army officers have fled to the west and that there will be a purge. And Russian bombers are said to have joined in a Mongolian invasion of China's Xinjiang province. And here is the latest official weather forecast for New York City and vicinity. Tonight, cloudy, with fog in the morning, becoming sunny, warm, and humid in afternoon. Highest temperature about 80. Moderate to fresh easterly winds, 19 to 24 miles per hour. This has been a news feature from the wires of the Associated Press. Thomas Frank speaking. This is the Allied Broadcasting System.